Yo, what is up, my fellow versus your boy? Every like six sauce can never take a motherfucking loss. Today, with the react to the fight of business, as always. You feel what I'm saying? Today, with the react to it's Tom Tony. Like he just put it as Tom Tony. We all know what he talking about. But let's get into the son of a bitch, and let's see what the fucking fight of business it got going on for us, man.
Tony Ferguson's time is finished. Now he gonna come back. Someone gonna beat him again.
Bro, Khabib, get off his dick, bro. Like,
I believe because when you take damage like this, you never gonna be same. Never ever. Even if you're Tony Ferguson.
I know I've said this time and time again, but this is a mad, mad world we follow. It all changes in an instant. Fortunes are built with one precise punch, and careers are forever altered with one looping shot.
damn, like. Yo, I always wonder something. You know, remember how, not remember, but you know how everybody get knocked out, like Sergey, Kamaru Usman, and all these other people and shit. Nobody never really talks about when Conor get knocked the fuck out, especially when he got knocked out by Dustin. Not mean like he get knocked out a lot, but I'm saying just like you see how he just talked about
Built with one precise
Sergey
punch, and
Usman,
careers are
but ever since Conor got knocked out, by Dustin, and I'm a Conor fan. I'm just being honest, But let's get right back into this son of a bitch.
are forever altered with one looping shot. Start of the year, you're the next big thing, but
Yeah, I can't look at you no more, Leon, because you got fucking dog watered by Bilal. About remember the name. I'm not remembering that nut ass nigga name. He gonna let that nigga dog walk you like that, bro? You need shot caught Ramadov now.
towards the fall, you're barely relevant, and you start the next year fighting for the right to even remain in the UFC.
But would you be interested in, keeping him around?
I think the PFL is going to get a great undefeated guy.
Really?
Good luck to him.
We've all seen this play out before our eyes, numerous times in fact, and to be honest, it doesn't really surprise me anymore. This is MMA, and it happens, but every now and then, you see an example so unfortunate, a shift so bizarre that when you think back and try to remember the good old days, you can't.
Well, they want me to retire, but I'm not retiring.
Oh, they want you to retire?
I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
What are you talking about? You, no, I'm not retired. You go retire.
Bro, just retire, bro. Like, you hurting my heart more than you hurting yourself.
Feels like a distant dream that never really happened. Tony Ferguson's story is a testament to this, and I believe we have arrived for his.
Let's be honest. Tony upbreak into the UFC was the greatest, Ultimate Fighter with Brock Lesnar and shit like that. He was doing his thing. He was knocking niggas out, and he had the longest winning streak in UFC history. He had the interim title, but he couldn't get the UFC strap due to Khabib and Conor and all these other people. I understand his mindset. Like, he never got the chance. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he never got the chance. Like, he had the chance, but he couldn't pursue it. You feel me? But like, Dana never gave him that chance. He always was on like Conor dick or Khabib dick. Like, he never gave him an actual title shot. So it's like, I understand where he's coming from, but like, more so, he's losing a lot, and it's hurting everybody's heart.
His sake and ours at the pitiful conclusion of.
Like, yo, I'm sorry I'm keep like interrupting, but the fight business. If you watching this right now, bro, like, listen to me, bro. Make a documentary about Tony, how he had everything in his hand and it just snapped. I'm just saying. Or anybody else who can make it to video. I just feel like the fight business should make it because you know what you're talking about.
What was once upon a time the most savage saga in lightweight history.
And I'm not trying to say everybody else don't know what they talking about. Everybody else know what they talking about. We all marks of UFC. You feel what I'm saying? Not marks, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, we're all. Let me shut the fuck up, bro.
I don't want to retire. I really don't. So I'm not going to put both gloves down. I'm going to put one.
12-fight win streak to an 8-fight skid. El Cucuy to Tony Ferguson. Heaven to hell. And ash to dust.
Fighting Business is one of my favorite new channels going right now.
Thank you to the Fighting Business. Absolutely amazing.
In 2017, the landscape of the most prestigious, most competitive, most annoying division in the UFC, 155, was something like this. Conor McGregor was the most popular superstar.
Yeah, most popular. Who we had? We had Khabib. We had Dan Hooker at 5. We had Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, Tony, Conor. I think I said that right, but Yeah.
Someone we all wanted to see, but who was awe of being Conor, making money and getting into trouble.
If the kid wants some money, the kid wants some stuff. If there's anybody out there that's worth it, it's Conor McGregor.
Then you had Khabib, an undefeated monster who had spent 2 years on the shelf to heal from an injury, but there was always this nagging concern that Khabib was either going to pull out with another injury or wait
That nigga ain't had no injury, bro. He was just ducking that smoke.
issues.
Yeah, have fun with that weight cut. Stuck in there. Conditioning sucks.
At last, you had the people's champion, Tony Ferguson. Like McGregor and Khabib, we wanted to see Tony, and fortunately for all of us, we often got to see Tony Ferguson inside the octagon.
He literally tore his ligament off the bone and had to have it put back on, and then 6 months later, he was fighting. There's not a whole lot of human beings like that guy.
Yeah.
He's a real freak.
That level of grit, determination to come back from that injury.
Well-rounded in all areas, eager to cause damage, proficient at disfiguring, and just a little crazy in the head. Tony Ferguson was outright feared during his now legendary win streak that began in October of 2013. And within just 3 years, Tony was heralded as the uncrowned champion by many because of the top 3 lightweights on the planet. He was the one showing up, defending his position, and risking it all for the fans in gory spectacles.
It's a weird thing because Tony does stuff to people and he doesn't get tired.
He doesn't get he's legit crazy.
Yes.
Yo, this video hurt my heart because like Tony like is really a living legend. Like he been in the UFC since Brock Lesnar was in there, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it was 2 muffins in the oven. The other muffin was like, "Holy shit, it's hot in here," and the other muffin said, "Holy shit, we're talking muffins."
Like he doesn't. Like I don't know if he feels pain.
Back then, there was truly nothing stopping him. I mean, his skills were impressive for sure, but he wasn't the best wrestler like Khabib or a super accurate striker like
We never got to see the wrestling like against him and Khabib. Like, bro, he was elite with everything, bro.
McGregor. It was his otherworldly endurance and durability that made him seem unbeatable. And let me remind you, in 2018, Tony Ferguson was deemed the only guy capable of beating Khabib in a fight.
He's more of a legit title holder, in my opinion, than Khabib was before Conor.
I remember those days. The debate was something like this. Khabib would take Tony down, for sure, but unlike the other lightweights who were terrified of Khabib, Tony, who gave no fucks, would hunt for submissions and maybe even make Khabib bleed with elbows off of his back. And if Khabib wasn't able to finish him in the early rounds, Ferguson's cardio and pace were going to make the championship rounds hell for the eagle. And then it went to shit.
And long story short, I took a little nap, and as soon as I woke up from the nap, I'm like, man, what the hell? Like people look like they're like somebody died or something, and they were like, Tony, Khabib is sick. He went to the hospital.
In 2020, Ferguson versus Khabib was still the most important fight at 155, maybe even across the entire UFC. The bout had fallen through so many times, but UFC 249 was, hopefully, every fingers crossed, the event that would finally settle the most enduring question of the past few years. Who was the best lightweight in the world?
Tony Ferguson.
But fuck us, I guess, because fate had other plans. A literal worldwide pandemic put the ultimate end to the Khabib versus Ferguson.
The fucking government, bro, like fucking up the fights, B.
And for a few weeks, not even Dana White had any idea about what was going to happen. Khabib was stuck in Russia, but Ferguson, on a 12-fight win streak, was available and willing to risk everything once again. And the company, desperate to keep it moving, arranged yet another interim title fight between Tony and his new opponent, Justin Gaethje.
As soon as you walk through those cage doors, it's just 3 people inside that's allowed in there. And it's going to be myself, the ref, and Justin Gaethje, and it's going to be one heck of a fight, man. I'm going to be real, but crowd or no crowd, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to get my W.
We all knew
this shit hurt my heart.
Gaethje was a dangerous dude, but Tony had weathered countless storms before and emerged victorious. Yet this was different, and from rounds 3 to 5, Ferguson withstood one of the most gruesome beatings in UFC history. And while he wasn't knocked down, I wish he was, because it might have saved him. Gaethje broke the legendary win streak and moved ahead to fight Khabib in a unification bout, but there was still a lot.
Why the fuck? Bro, I don't...
A lot of optimism about Tony, and most expected him to shred the other lightweights as he had been doing for so long.
What was it that you felt the need so strongly to get back in there instead of just giving your body that really extra rest and
time off? That's for fucking like people are like, oh my gosh, when people don't do what you do, it's so.
Is this nigga playing Nintendo Switch while in an interview?
Frustrating and shit like that, especially interviewers that don't understand that time off actually injures people. when you're hurt, people want to take a knee and they want to take a rest instead of actually getting out there and walking on a sprain, right? Or like icing it immediately or getting after it immediately. People said I needed more time off. I'm like, you guys, I need more time off.
His rebound from the Gaethje loss was at UFC 256 against Charles Oliveira, and Tony lost.
Two of my greatest fighters, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like legends, in my opinion. Tony wasn't ready for Charles at this time, bro. He had a kid, his testosterone boosted by 30%, and he was whooping ass, bro. And Tony was just in the way.
Lost that one too, pretty badly, and it didn't stop at Charles. Beneil Dariush.
Think I'm unorthodox, kid. I'm gonna hit you so fucking hard.
Another bad loss. Not a champion, but still an elite contender at that time. Michael Chandler.
I'm gonna be real. You got the handed to you. You got Dana White privilege.
Knocked him into the next dimension. Michael Chandler. It was loss after loss after loss, and Tony Ferguson just could not find his footing, and each subsequent defeat chipped away at his skill, durability, and eventually his sanity. The submission loss to Nate Diaz made it painfully clear that
like Nate Diaz, Tony, like
Ferguson was not even a shadow of the beast he used to be, but convinced that he still had enough left in the tank to get one victory, one last rush of glory. Tony continued fighting, but the circumstances were vastly different. He was no longer facing the likes of Gaethje and Charles with the world watching, but the likes of Bobby Green and Paddy Pimblett with his fans begging him to let go and retire.
They want me to go, they want me to retire, but I'm not retiring.
Oh, they want you to retire?
I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Very defiant about it, but you also like you understand their concern, I guess, right? You understand why people are like, man, I just don't want to see Tony get hurt anymore. I don't want to see him lose anymore. Like I don't want to see him in a bad place anymore.
It's like, do you really want to do this? And that's the part that hurts, is when I get that question asked to me, because I'm like, I get all the like, what are you talking about? You know, or like, hey, you're retired, right? I'm like, you like, no, I'm not retired. Like, you go retire. Like, I have to do.
I would love to see Tony retire.
We tried. Dana tried. I'm sure his family tried too, but Tony, convinced that sparring would solve every problem that he had, walked into the octagon at UFC Abu Dhabi against Michael Chiesa with some 120 rounds of sparring under his belt and lasted only 2 minutes. Imagine even thinking this in 2017.
Not only have I not seen Tony just taken down at will before, I've never seen Tony held against a fence before. Maybe Tony is the guy.
This horrendous 8-fight losing streak has completely shattered the legend of Tony Ferguson and everything that he had built up.
Everybody was going nuts for you. I saw in the media room.
That's that Homelander shit, bro.
Everybody was coming up to you saying hi.
We don't remember him submitting Kevin Lee to become interim champion. We know he was submitted by Bobby Green. We don't remember his brutal and bloody mauling of Anthony Pettis. We know he was dropped and beaten by Paddy Pimblett. We don't remember him as Khabib's rival. We know him as the biggest loser in UFC history.
Don't disrespect the legend body like that, bro. Nobody know Tony like that. Only niggas that know Tony like that is these fucking marks that don't know what they talking about. You man? If you've been watching UFC since fucking UFC 1-on-1, you that nigga. You've been watching UFC since UFC 2, you that old ass nigga. Bro, these niggas been watching UFC since UFC 200. I've been watching this shit since UFC 100, nigga. Fuck is they talking about, bro? Tony's a fucking legend, nigga. The fuck is these niggas talking about, bro? This nigga Paddy ain't ready for nobody. Just because he choked out, yeah, what's his name? He not ready. Bobby, that's a legend. You feel what I'm saying? Charles, like, bro. Tony, retire, bro.
This is not a downfall. You see that every other day in MMA.
This nigga Justin Gaethje. You know what? I ain't gonna get on Justin Gaethje ass, bro. The boys like Justin Gaethje.
This is the end of Tony Ferguson.
Last one or not, I think in all of the MMA fans' hearts, it'll always be Tony time, brother. And
now, try to remember how great he used to be, and you won't be able to.
Shut your bitch ass up, bro. You hurt my heart right now fighting business. Don't you disrespect our legend like that, bro. I ain't gonna end it off, bro. He's a bitch, bro. But I hope everybody fucking enjoyed this video, man. I'm just fucking mad, bro. Tony really just shit sad, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Shit really sad.